Oh yeah. You know, so many people think that online tutoring can't be fun. Like, how could that be fun? Oh, we've got Holly joining us. Awesome. Some people think that online tutoring can't be fun, and that is a total lie. All right, Holly, I'm gonna have you turn down something because I'm right now.
Oh, my headset, I don't think it connected correctly. Hold on.
Okay. We're working out the technical difficulties, everybody. We'll sing a song. Let's make it fun, right?
Oh no.
Do 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 do. Do, 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 do. Oh no, well I get like muted because that's not, I like and didn't copyright that song.
Yep.
Oh no, that would be awful. For you. They're gonna come for me. Oh, I gotta make up my own. What about Jingle Bells? Is that copyrighted?
Yes. Don't sing happy birthday, whatever you do.
I will put the names of the two people that actually did write that song. They are from Wisconsin, the people who and did you know that the original version of that song was actually from two teachers, and it was Good Morning to You, and they would greet their students with that song, and they would say, "Good morning, happy birthday to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning, dear Terry. Good morning to you."
That just brought a visual of one of my elementary teachers doing that to me with that version. I think so.
We must have known the original song.
Like, yeah, maybe she was from Wisconsin. Who knows?
Oh, us Wisconsin people, we rock. So if you are joining us today, here's what I would like you to do in the chat. Introduce who you are and what you're just joining us for fun. Just say hey. We'd love to know who's joining us. And what are some things that you do for fun? Put it into the chat. We'd love to bring that into the conversation that we're going to be having. I still have that.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Input. Bose earphones. Okay. Google is not letting me change my settings.
Oh, this is not. So just to give you guys a little bit of background, Holly needs to use some different resources and tools because she's actually blind. She's a blind online tutor.
Yeah, well, that's not the problem here. The problem here is right now Google doesn't like my headset.
They just don't like your headset. Okay, so it has nothing to do with her being blind at all.
No, not this time anyway.
All right, are you hearing the echo too, Terry?
Oh, yes, I am.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to mute. Okay, I'm just going to mute, and then we're going to have Holly come on in. She's just going to like somehow give us the attention that she's ready. She wants to speak. She wants to say something, and we'll unmute it so that she can say something. And then I am not echoing crazily, and people are like, "Oh, I can't watch this." Yes, we've got that. We've got the echoing taken care of. Thank you, 3D Math Tutoring. You are awesome. So we're going to be starting off this conversation like, you know, let's just start off with that very controversial question of, should we make online tutoring fun? What are your thoughts, Terry? So Terry's joining me. She's an online math tutor. She particularly works with like high school, college level students in math topics. And so what do you think, Terry? Do you think we should make tutoring fun?
Absolutely. What's the point if we're not going to have fun?
Yeah.
The less fun I have, the more fun they'll have.
Yeah.
Absolutely. At any age, it doesn't matter the age. Everybody wants to have fun. I mean, they may come into it with my math stuff going, oh, it's math. But if I put that in them at ease and start to be goofy, they'll lighten up and they'll settle in. So yes, we need to have fun when we're tutoring.
I totally agree. I totally agree. And people don't realize, like, even the younger kids, they have a choice whether they're going to do their tutoring or not, right? So if they're having fun with you, they're going to want to come to each of your sessions. If they are not having fun, guess what they're going to do? They're going to complain when it's time to do their tutoring. They're going to cry. They're going to throw a fit. They're going to tell their mom they don't want to do it. And they're going to give so much kickback on the tutoring that the parent is just going to start looking for somebody else. And that's not what you want. So you do want to make it fun, although you do want to be able to cover the content that you need to cover. Obviously, you're not going to be singing and dancing the entire time that you are there. But you know, that's just the way it is. So we do have today the English coach joining us from Italy today. Italy. I love it. I have never been to Italy, but it is definitely on my bucket list of places to go.
I lived in Italy for 3 years. So
you did?
Yes, it was grand.
That is awesome. And what did you visit while you were there?
Everywhere, because I taught high school on the U.S. military base there. So I traveled all over Italy and Europe, and then I was in Spain for 3 years.
Uh-huh.
It was 4 years in Italy now that I think about it. I traveled everywhere. It was a blast.
Oh my gosh, that does sound like a lot of fun. That is awesome. Wow. So totally off there. Oh, we've got Robin in the house. Hey, Robin. We've got the echo. All right, I did have to mute you, Holly. Sorry, the echo is still going on in there. It seems like the Google isn't playing with your headset very nice. I wonder what would happen if you just took the headset out and didn't use the headset, because I have found that my headset is actually softer when I'm doing the live calls than like when I do Zoom and that kind of stuff. So I have just unplugged my headset. So as you can see, I'm like naked because like I don't really do anything without this baby. All right. So yeah, we really do need to make the tutoring a lot of fun for our kiddos so that they are, you know, they want to come back and they want to have the session. So what are some things that you do like right from the beginning to make online tutoring fun from the start?
So for me, when I first meet with them, any session, I totally talk to them at the beginning. I don't know how fun this is, but I like to talk with them, and I always make them tell me, what's one happy thing that happened to you today? And they're teenagers, like, oh, I don't know. But then they get used to me. They have to tell me something happy, and we do something happy at the beginning just to ease everybody into it. If they're younger or if they have like ADHD, sometimes because I use a whiteboard, I'll have them draw me a picture of something they see in their room, something like that. So some sort of an icebreaker just to get started before we ever touch the math.
Yeah, I do too. I just start off with conversation, and it's funny because like I don't really do like any planning time. And so as I'm having that conversation, I'm opening up their stuff. So I'm opening up their PowerPoint that we're going to work on. I'm opening up, you know, their Raz account. And so I'm opening that stuff up while I'm just chit-chatting with them. And so I'll take like, you know, just 1-2 minutes just to say, hey, how are things going? You know, how was your day? Anything exciting happen? And sometimes they just need to just like debrief on maybe something that's happened before they can even move on. Have you ever had that as well?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And sometimes it goes on too long, and then it depends on the topic. Teenagers can get into it, though. And sometimes they just need to talk about it. And other times I'm like, well, this isn't fair to your parents. Let's get started. I would never say that out loud, but you know, but I do.
Yeah, you just redirect them, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We're going to see if we still have that mute going on. Oh, I can't unmute you. How did that happen?
I don't know.
I don't know anymore. Oh no, now she's gone. Oh, crazy. Live TV, people. Live TV. All right. So when it comes to I always laugh when I like end up chit-chatting with you. Like I can't like not smile and I can't not laugh when I'm hanging out with you. Do you ever use humor with your tutoring to kind of make it fun?
Absolutely not. No, I'm kidding. We never have humor. Not in math. Yes, yes, yes. I don't think I could teach or tutor without trying to. I mean, it doesn't take long for them to figure out what a dork I am. So, I mean, within seconds, they realize I'm a dork, and I'm going to be a dork, and I embrace my dorkiness. Yeah. And so I might sing something for math to help you remember it. And yes, I might dance for you if it helps you remember something. Yes, I would. I'm not going to do the dance here, but I would.
But this is
I know that doesn't shock any of you that I'm a dork, so carry on.
This is a fun call. Okay, you guys, if you want to see Terry dance, we want to see Terry dance. We want to see Terry dance. Come on. Type it in. Type it in.
And a disconnect headset because I tried a different one.
I don't think I am. I don't hear an echo anymore, Holly.
Okay, finally. Okay, so the only thing is I'm just gonna mute the speech of my computer because that will annoy your listeners. And there we go. All right, let's do this thing. So just don't need to type because I won't be able to hear when I'm typing.
How about you, Holly? Do you ever add humor into the mix as you are working with your students?
Well, obviously, I mean, I just did into this, which is embarrassing if I let it. So, yes, I do. I do inject humor, and it depends on the student as to how much. Like, if I have a student who's older and they come from certain countries, I don't, because I tutor all over the world. And certain cultures, this isn't to be prejudicial, it's just a fact, is that certain cultures tend to be more reserved, and that's okay. But you know what is cool about that is after a few weeks, they end up being some of my funniest students.
Yeah, you know, and you do have to kind of like feel it with your students. Like I have some students where I'm like, hey, do you like it when people sing? And if they're like, no, then I'm like, all right, I'm not going to add the singing to make it fun, because they will be completely annoyed by me, because I do like to sing and make stuff up and randomly. And so I like to actually like incorporate music to make it fun once in a while. So I like using tools like vocabulary or some different videos from YouTube to teach a concept. Have you guys ever used music to be able to teach certain concepts?
I did this week because I actually am, even though I normally do high school, I'm teaching a 4th and 5th grader. And this 5th grader didn't know her multiplication table. So I found a multiplication song on YouTube. So we played that. Oh my gosh, her life was just brightened up by that song. I'm here to tell you. So that was really fun.
It is a lot of fun to be able to, and I love, like on Zoom, you can actually share the sound on your computer. Now, I always wanted to bring music on in, and it was kind of hard. Like I'd have to like unplug everything, and then they'd kind of be listening to the music on my computer. But inside of Zoom, they can actually, inside of Zoom, you can share your computer sound, so they hear it like it's coming out of their computer.
If you're using Windows, you can do that on Skype as well now.
Yes, you can. You can. I did see that they finally have added that feature on in there, which is.
You just need to add it to Mac.
Now, it doesn't do it as well. I have tried using it. I have clicked that feature with my students, and they haven't been able to hear it as well. They'll be like, it's really, really soft, or they're still fixing something inside of Skype to make it work well. But yes, they're working on it. I can tell. So 3D math tutoring and the English coach would like to see Terry dance, and so would Sonia. Sonia's like, bring it, girl. Come on.
I'm not doing it right now, kids. I knew as soon as I said it, I had made a horrible mistake. Wait for the video to come out, kids.
Can't you do like a sitting version of the dance?
I don't want to ruin the surprise for when I actually make the video. So hold on, kids. I'll give you a preview. It involves something like this, something like this, something like this, something like this. And it has to do with polynomials. But I'm not giving you the full version to make the video. But just makes you cringe, right? And you can't be too serious when I do that.
No, like I totally want to show this video to my niece. She's doing algebra right now, and the poor kid, math is not her coup de maître.
I love that. I love that you use that, and we can still be able to use like a hands-on approach or a physical response reproach. I cannot say that. Approach.
Reproach. That is not a good word to use with tutoring.
Reproach is not a good word to use. Approach. But I love being able to, that TPR, that total physical response. You could still add that into online tutoring and make it fun for kids to remember things, which is really cool. How about you, Holly? Do you use any music or any videos or anything like that when you're teaching different concepts?
Reinforcing concepts, yeah, occasionally. So I've used songs before where I've found like a certain tense. There was a country song that I liked using for past continuous. And it wasn't, I didn't necessarily use it for teaching, but more for reinforcement and practice. It's a certain kind of student who can really get a lot of language value from music. A lot of them get frustrated because it's sung differently and the way the tune affects the way that things are pronounced sometimes. And so it's, it depends on the student. Yeah.
Now, there's a cool tool that I use for those of you who are teaching like vocabulary, or you're teaching fluency. I use a tool called Flowcabulary. One of the really neat things that they have is you can actually slow down the speed of the song, because you know how sometimes like songs go really, really fast and you can't understand what it is that they're saying. It has that, and it has the words on the screen at the same speed, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that is.
That's a really fun tool to be able to teach vocabulary with. I love it. Absolutely love it. How do you guys, I find that when I add choice into the mix with my tutoring, that makes it fun too. Like I'm tapping into what they enjoy. So I'll let them choose different books that they want to use. I'll say, okay, you have a choice between, like, I don't want to give them too many choices because I feel that like sometimes hinders some kids. But if I'm like, hey, you have a choice between like 3 books, and then I choose things that I think that they're going to like and ones that I am going to enjoy listening to, because there are certain books I can't listen to again. I'm just like, if I listen to that book one more time, I know so many facts about chocolate, you guys. Just
cool.
Like information.
Chocolate is good.
I know, and kids love chocolate. So like I never give them the choice of that book anymore, because I'm like, I cannot randomly like walk down the street and spout off these stupid chocolate things. Like people look at me like I'm a dork. So yeah, so I'll give them choices on like different types of books. Do you guys incorporate choice at all with your tutoring?
Oh, I just got knocked out. Oh. No, I'm back. Okay.
Yeah, you're back.
Yikes. Yeah, sometimes we start algebra and I say, would you like to do pre-calculus today or trigonometry? No, but what I do though, like when I first get a new student, I ask them what their favorite subject at school is, because it's usually not math. So say they say science, then when I bring in word problems, those babies are all going to be about science. And then they don't mind doing them because they enjoy science.
Yeah.
So even though that's not technically a fun thing, it really has helped me break down the barriers of word problems, which kids just don't like that much anyway. If you bring in or maybe they're a baseball player, so you bring in baseball examples, just that simple a question at the beginning. What's 2 things that you have the most fun doing in life? And then go to try to find stuff like that to bring in.
So you find that information out right away, like during that initial consultation or through that pre-assessment.
Yeah.
I asked that question too. That's interesting. Like I never kind of correlated that. I always asked that so I would know like what types of books like this particular kid would enjoy reading. How about you, Holly? Do you add in any choice in there?
So I ask several questions in the beginning, very similar questions. What do you enjoy? What do you do in your free time? Stuff. A lot of my students are adults, and so that's phrased maybe a little differently. And anyway, but there are actually a couple of ways that I do choice in my lessons, because Jason Tidick, who is, he's a train the trainer guy. He trains people how to give better trainings. And you can find his courses on Udemy. But anyways, he says that a mentor of his taught him that if you do not share power with your students, they will take it from you. So what I do is sometimes I will incorporate a choice of activity into a lesson or something like that. Or what I do is, if we've been studying some hard stuff for a while, I'll give what I call a freebie lesson. I'll say, okay, the kids especially like this. If this freebie lesson is up to you. You're going to choose what we do, and you're going to choose what we're practicing. So you're going to choose what we're practicing and how we practice it. So for example, last week, I did this with one of my kids, and he said, "Can we watch a movie?" And he goes, "I know we have to, you know, use some kind of, add some kind of English learning into it or something." And so we did. We watched a couple episodes of Lassie, actually, that old show, and we just discussed it. And sometimes I might say, you know, "What's he doing?" Or what, you know, even just because of my blindness, asking him to fill in some of the blanks as best he can is actually helpful for his English, and it helps me know what the heck is going on.
Yeah, that's such a great idea, because, you know, and then he's definitely feeling empowered there because he can help be your eyes.
In fact, I taught his brother first. I'm still teaching his brother, but his brother was my first student from the family. And the first thing we did to help him get over his shyness and stuff like that is he had to make a short comic book, because he liked making comic books. And his basic job during the class was to tell me, what's in the comic book? What does it say? What are the pictures? What are they doing in the pictures? And I would just correct his English. And that opened the door. We didn't stay with that for too long, but that opened the door, and it was cool for him.
Yeah. And you bring up a good point. Like if a boy loves like baseball, I cannot read every single book about baseball, right? I have to start diving a little bit deeper to find out what else are you interested in. You know, like if you just stuck on that one topic, I mean, I had one little boy, he did love hockey. We read a lot of books about hockey. I mean, fiction books, nonfiction books, all about hockey. But then it was like, okay, but now, like I said, okay, now we need to expand it, because it's great that you have so much knowledge and background knowledge. What happens when you don't have background knowledge? So now we're going to be exploring some other books where you don't have background knowledge. So it's almost like building trust too with a student by saying, okay, we're going to start with things that you like, but then you've now established that trust, and you can really move forward and be able to hone in their skills. So yeah, Sonia is saying the same thing. She thinks that giving choices is such an empowering thing and gets them more engaged, and you know, they really have a lot of fun with it. So if you do give choice for your students, put toot in there for tutors, tutors inside of that chat. I know it's dorky, but it is fun.
So random sometimes.
I really need to say this. The best way to have fun with your kids is for you to show up and have your passion and have your fun and just be authentically yourself. Because if they see you as having fun and enjoying what you're doing, they're going to relax and have fun too. There's just no way around it. Even though you may be nervous starting to work with them, well, just, you know me, I'm authentic about it anyway. I'm just going to show you who I am, and we're going to have fun and do it. And I think that's the #1 way to have fun with your kids.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And just, you know, sometimes just add a little like uniqueness into it. So I have to tell this story just because I think it illustrates just feeling the freedom to kind of be a little goofy. So I used to use this little stand-up desk. It was more similar to a podium. You could raise it or lower it. And I had it raised, and I intended to stand for part of the class. Well, it was this older Ukrainian couple. And so I started the computer, and then I squatted down under the table so they couldn't see me. And so when they picked up the Skype call, I had my headset on so I could hear what they were doing. And they're like, Holly. And then I popped up like, oh, hello. Like I wasn't expecting them or something. It was just totally silly, kind of stupid. But yeah, they got a kick out of it. And I only did it a couple of times, so it doesn't become some weird way that Holly starts class, you know.
Right. I usually will teach on holidays, so I don't really like take holidays off. So when like, you know, Halloween, October 31st it usually is happening on a day that I'm tutoring. And so I will have like some kind of like a special like headband that's like some kind of like costumey thing, or, you know, face paint or something that is just like festive with the holiday, and the kids get a huge kick out of that.
You know what's funny is when you do that with teenagers or college people and you act like nothing's going on, like you're wearing something and you don't say anything, and then they start getting nervous, and I'll say, I'm sorry, are you okay? What's going on over there?
Do I have something in my teeth?
Because they don't want to say anything, and then eventually they'll say something. But
Oh Oh, that's funny. You know, and that just makes it, I've actually had kids like come to their sessions in their Halloween costume. Because people are doing like trick or treat and stuff on Halloween. So if they like, it might be like after school, and so they get on their costume and they come onto their session and then they go trick or treating.
That's when you should get a testimonial from them.
Right when they're you know, at their best, dressed in their finest.
My kids often cancel on Halloween, so, and we don't celebrate it. Actually, my family doesn't. So, but yeah, they usually sometimes they cancel unless the lesson's going to be early enough in the day. It doesn't interfere with any of their stuff. But I also, yeah, I don't teach a ton of kids, so.
But you still have a lot of experience, so.
Yeah. No, I teach a mix of kids and adults and the occasional teenager. So
yeah. And now I'm going to move into another area here, games.
Oh,
Do you incorporate games into your lessons?
What's your definition of games?
Let's start there. What is your definition of games? What is your definition of a game? So a game is something that you play. It could be to learn, like to practice some skills maybe that they have. Maybe it's like bingo, or for one little boy, like for management purposes, I actually added in a game, and I don't do this for all my students. He's the only student I did it. If he had a good session, I would play tic-tac-toe with him at the end. Now, he called it crosses and something else. But I would play tic-tac-toe with him at the end if he had a good day. I'd be like, oh, you had a good day. Let's play tic-tac-toe. And so we would play our tic-tac-toe at the end. And so it was like, you know, a 30-second thing that I was like throwing on in there, because that was enough to motivate him to want to do a good job.
I've actually done that too with a middle school kid. I had this one middle school kid that had really bad ADHD, and he just had a hard time concentrating. So we'd try to work, and then we'd take a break and do, what's it called? I want to call it dots and boxes, where you make boxes off a grid. And, you know, we'd play for 5 minutes, like you said, just to relax him. And that always relaxed him, and we could carry on after that. And then pretty soon we'd put it at the end of the session instead of in the middle. And he knew that was coming, like your child. And then pretty soon, you know, of course I would let him win. And then pretty soon I got competitive with him, and he's like, oh, I can't win. But eventually he's like, okay, I don't think we need to play boxes anymore. But it did help. It did help with ADHD.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think it's great. Like if you utilize it in that way, and if you can take the content that you're learning and turning it into a game, that's cool too. As long as it just doesn't take too much time. Like I do find like there are some games that are great because they're reinforcing skills, but then sometimes, you know, you got to watch the time, right? Like I don't want something to take like 30 minutes and just playing a game with one of my students. You know, a 5 or 10 minute quick activity here and there once in a while is cool, but like just to, you know, we always have to remember what our purpose is.
And the other thing is, you know, like there's math games out there. I've played math games before. There was one that Elaine told us about. I think it's called Algebra Blast. And I played that with students, and they just love it. Even if they're like seniors in high school, they just love playing games. And it's actually math content. But yeah, so there are lots of math games out there. Even for high school, you can play them. I wouldn't do it with college kids, but
right,
you know, just to reinforce it, just to have some fun.
Yep, absolutely.
I use language games a lot, and they so like I will actually make them the bulk of the lesson sometimes, depending on the student. So if we've some students, for example, if we're studying grammar, they don't like me to get into the technical stuff too much of like the tense and the structure. So we do a quick overview of it. Just like, okay, here's the structure, here's when we use it, blah, blah, blah. And then the rest of the lesson is a game, but that game is designed to reinforce that grammar point. So case in point, there's a game that I love to play, and my students tend to like it. Sorry for the background noise. That is not a lawnmower. That is my dog. It's called Negative, Positive, Crazy, and I got it from Bridge TEFL, and I adapted it for the internet. And what it is I would give you a word. So in this case, a verb. If we're practicing present continuous tense, I might give you the verb walking. And I'll tell you if you have to make a negative statement, and that doesn't just mean adding not. That can mean like a negative feeling. I hate walking, or I am walking and I hate it, something like that. So the idea is that your statement has to be formed in present continuous. And I tell you if you have to make a negative, a positive, or a crazy statement. And crazy statement is like just something that's totally random or unbelievable. And so they'll come back at me and they'll have to give me a verb, an ing verb, and they'll tell me what kind of statement I have to make. And they like challenging the native speaker English teacher, you know. So it goes over pretty well. And if you know, if we're getting bored of that, then I can switch. There are a bunch of other games, and a lot of them can be adapted for different things. So you can play 2 games during a lesson, and it reinforces, especially for kids or for people who don't like a lot of technical explanation, it kind of reinforces the structure and maybe how we would use it. And I can give corrections during the game if something's a little off.
Yeah, yeah. Very cool. I love it. And the English coach here, she said that her ESL students absolutely love board or card games. There are some online ones as well. But she said some of her students get really competitive.
Yeah, that can be, yeah.
Yeah. When you have those multiple students inside of the class, they can be competing with each other.
That's also a lot of fun. I mean, I've done negative, positive, crazy with groups before and stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah. That can be a lot of fun. That's awesome. You guys have given some really great ways to make online tutoring fun. It is fun. I got to tell you, like, I like get this, like, just overwhelming, like, happy feeling every time I get onto the computer with my students. Like, I am always having so much fun tutoring. And, you know, while my students, you know, sometimes it's like they're working, I oftentimes hear things like, oh my gosh, did an hour already go by? Like, we're already done?
Right? Yeah.
You guys ever hear that? Because you do make it fun?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just think, like, that's what it's all about, right? Like, let's, like, make the learning as fun as we can, but yeah, let's still cover the content that we need to cover, because that's what we're all here for. So it's not like time wasting activities. They're just fun. Sometimes I call things games when they're not games. Do you ever do that?
Yes.
I'm like, we're going to play a game now. But, like, if you're really to analyze it, it's not really a game. So, like, they don't really call me out on it, but, you know, I'm just trying to make it seem fun.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do things too, like just within the work that you do, like with math. Like, I'm going to be their biggest cheerleader when they get things right. And even things like I make them give me air high fives, like, give me 5, don't leave me hanging. Yeah. And they're older kids, and they don't want to do it. Like, I'm not moving my hand till you give me a 5. Just stuff like that. Or when they get an answer right, you put a smiley face on the whiteboard or whatever, you know, just to make it a little easier.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, inside of our group, one of the fun things that we've created is the boom cha. So if you guys are not familiar with us in our group, we give each other the boom cha. Like, when people, you know, have when they're here with us and joining us or sharing their information, we give them a boom cha for sharing. We give the boom cha for when people get a new student and try to make it fun like that. I don't have a boom cha with my students, but, like, I will do a fireworks once in a while. I'll be like,
that's a good one.
I also give virtual hugs.
Aww.
Let's give a virtual hug.
Can you give us a virtual hug?
I could totally give you a virtual hug. And okay, you guys, but it's a group hug. You guys ready to join me in the group hug? All right. And if you are watching this, I want you to join in on this virtual group hug on the count of 3.
Wait, how do we do this?
How do we do it?
Your arms out and pretend you're putting the computer.
Oh. Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Oh. That was so nice.
Doesn't that feel so good?
I love the whole world right now.
Anything else that you guys do that makes it fun for doing online tutoring with your students?
Show and tell.
Oh, show and tell. Tell us about that.
Good idea.
Okay. So what I do, mine's a little different because a lot of the times I forget what color my things are.
Okay.
And I collect collectibles. Like I collect collections, I should say. I have a very eclectic kind of thing going on. And so, and kids, especially, and adults as well, they like to share their lives and show their things. So I have one little girl, especially right now, where I'll say, do you have your show and tell? And she'll say yes, and she'll describe it. And she'll describe the colors, like it has blue eyes and it has a pink shirt and it's, it's a bear or whatever. And sometimes I'll correct some of her mistakes. Sometimes I won't, because it's meant to be an informal, less formal way to start the class.
Sure.
And then I'll hold up, for example, tomorrow I'm going to use this little glass octopus.
Mm-hmm.
And what she will do is tell me, and it's also a chance for her to learn the new word if she doesn't know the word octopus. So,
Sure.
yeah. So she will describe it. She'll tell me what color it is, and we might even talk about the fact that it's made of glass.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a more advanced student that I do this with. He's a bit more advanced than she is. And so we start talking about where we got things. And so he'll ask me now, where did you get it? And I get to tell him a little bit of the story behind the thing. And
Mm-hmm.
he'll tell me the story behind his thing.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Another thing I would add, like those younger kids I have, I grab stickers off of Google, and I don't tell them. These are younger, obviously, and I pick colors that I know they like, and so I'll post. One kid, I did that, and I posted it up. You would have thought it was Christmas morning when I did that. And I thought it was so fun. Every time I got a problem right, she picked a sticker and gave me a sticker back. And so the whole tutoring session, we were giving each other stickers.
I had a little student one time, this like younger, and absolutely loved their stuffed animals. And so, I've had a few students over the years that they like to bring their stuffed animal with them to their tutoring session. Of course, now we don't want the stuffed animal to be a distraction, right? So It's like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that you brought your stuffed animal. I have them introduce me to their stuffed animal, and I talk to the stuffed animal. And then I'll say, okay, now the stuffed animal is going to watch you read today. So can you put it right in front of you so they can watch you? And then after they're done reading, I will actually then talk to the stuffed animal and be like, didn't she do such a great job? I was so proud of her. And then the kid will come back and be like, yes, I did. Good job.
That's funny.
And it makes it so much fun, but it does open you up into their world. Like, who would bring their stuffed animal with them to a regular tutoring session? I'd never experienced that before, but when you're online, it does open up that comfort zone for them to do those kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing to use, now I'm not a big puppet person. I know some people love to use puppets, and that's cool. I'm totally not against anybody who uses puppets. I do have one special little guy I'm going to show you guys, and this is very special to me. This is Ubi. Now, Ubi says sounds. He's just some eyes. You can get this pretty cheap online. I got a packet of 20 of them, I think for like $5 or something. You just put it on your finger like this, and now it turns your hand into a puppet. And I absolutely love it. So I used to play this game with my own kids when I'd be at the grocery store. And, you're trying to keep your kids from being distracted by everything and crying or whatever the situation is. And I would just pull Ubi out of my purse, and I would just start playing phonemic awareness games with them. Yes, I am a reading tutor, so that's what we do. So I would just be like, I would look at an object that was around me, and they had to guess my word. And I would be like, g, and then they would guess gum, and they'd be all excited. Yay! And so I play that phonemic awareness game with my online tutoring students that are working on their phonemic awareness when they're younger. When they're older, I keep that part of it out, because I do want to make sure that the tutoring that I'm doing is appropriate for the age of the child that I'm doing it for. So. So yeah, so that's my movie.
I hope you don't take that puppet off your hand in front of them, because it's kind of startling. Like, what? Your hand? Wait, what?
that wasn't really Ubi?
Yeah, when you showed us what it was like, what?
I don't know. I've never paid attention. I'll never be able to show my right hand ever again. They'll be like, where's Ubi? Nobody has actually ever asked that question.
Well, you've never actually met me before.
I had a little boy. Now, he loved robots. And so I would use my robot voice with him when we played the game. So I would be like, So I'm like, I'm going to put on my robot voice for you. One day, this amazingly brilliant little boy comes on over to the computer and he built a little robot. And he's like, now it's my turn. And he would say sounds and I had to guess the word. I was like, he has no idea that right now he is doing phonemic segmentation. Ha!
That's awesome.
Wow. That is cool. So do we do Q&A at the end of these things?
Do we do Q&A? You know what? That's a good question. Yeah, any questions that you guys have, throw them on in there. Let's see what we got. Any questions about making tutoring fun, or do you have something fun that you do? Yeah. We'd love to throw into the conversation. We'd love to hear what you guys do to make online tutoring fun. So let's see if we get anything that comes on in here. Sometimes it's a.
And I have a question while we're waiting.
Yeah.
Joanne, how do you think I could do something like show and tell with adults?
I think they could just show an object that they have.
Yeah, they could just, like, I was kind of thinking of the same thing, like, as an informal way to start the class, I like to tell them, I like to know about my students. Do you have any objects that are connected to special memories or something like that, and then I bring out my octopus. Because it is actually, it was one of the last things I got from the blown glass shop at Knott's Berry Farm before it closed down.
Oh,
with my mama.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I think like bringing it up as like something that has a special memory to you is completely appropriate versus maybe calling it show and tell, just saying, hey, so today we're going to grab something that has a special memory for you, and then grab it. Sometimes the words that you use just are enough to still make it fun but appropriate, right?
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Like even calling it an activity instead of a game.
Sure. Yeah, totally. Yeah, I might still make a mistake and still call it a game, but I don't work with adults, so I'm good.
Well, they know. I mean, they know. They're not stupid. They know.
Alexa says that she wants to know, like, what are your favorite online games that you play? Are there any online games that people play that they really like to play?
Online
I couldn't find any enabled video skills that can play that. Go to the Alexa app to manage your video skills and devices.
You guys hear that?
Okay. Play the game with us.
Tutor and not use your first name because my other device is named that, and so you thought. Technology. It is awesome. Is there anything better than this? And that is really, really funny.
I play that almost every day.
Hey, Miss Tutor, does that ever happen to you all the time? I can't use your first name. I have another friend who has that same first name that just joined our group, and she says that happens all the time to her.
Oh, wow.
Thank goodness the iPhone thing isn't named Holly.
Right? That would cause some problems. It would cause some problems for sure.
Yeah.
Some games. I use Professor Garfield when I'm rhyming. And so we'll give the kids three things three objects. It'll tell them the names of the objects, and they have to find the one that rhymes with. So that's a fun game, Professor Garfield online. I mean, that's really the biggest one that I bring on in. I use a little Starfall once in a while, but these are like for like the younger kids. And another one for reading that builds in reading has some fun games is Head Sprout. So there's sometimes the games are fun and sometimes the games aren't fun. You could tell it's just like practice.
Well, for older kids, you can do Jeopardy, that kind of thing. There's all versions of Jeopardy. I don't know how fun that is though, but
people used to actually I used to see, I don't know how well it would work with a screen reader. I'd love to try it sometime, but people used to do Jeopardy, but they would have language categories.
Oh yeah, you can build your own Jeopardy.
Or yeah, you could do like verbs for 300 or something like that. And there are like when Verbling and Colingo were doing group classes, they used to do stuff like that. It was cool. But hey Terry, if you have a website for Build Your Own Jeopardy, send it along if you would please.
Yeah, I will. But you know what? People watching this, we'd really like you to comment because I'd like to get to know what other games are out there too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know where a great place to go if you're looking for games, a great place to go is Teachers Pay Teachers.
Oh.
Teachers. Now you can like a lot of the stuff is like PDFs and that kind of stuff, but you can get PowerPoints and you can actually search for different kinds of things that you are looking for. I know Elaine Lingard creates a lot of games for her students and then reuses them online, which is pretty cool. But yeah, if you guys have any games that makes teaching certain concepts fun, that would be awesome. Now, our friend Miss Tutor over here, she says that they renamed her little guy Echo. So otherwise, she said it would drive her crazy.
Oh, they renamed it. I didn't know you could do that.
You totally can. Yes, I should rename mine like Albert, and then we're gonna get an Albert in the group.
Mm-hmm.
Can
you know what? I can give you a Russian name, and then maybe.
I have a Russian student right now.
Can you change the voice? Like, could I have George Clooney to be my device?
No. No, but like I know, like on your phone, like you can change it to be like an Australian guy. Mine is an Australian.
Yeah, you can change Siri. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think that you can change that thing.
Whatever.
Albert.
Oh, yeah, we'll just call it Albert for, you know. I don't think you could change Albert.
You could name it after a dead guy.
Oh.
Like
George Washington.
No.
Washington. Hey, George Washington, what's the weather going to be like today? George Washington, what's 4 times 10?
Oh, you know what? And this totally, you guys, sometimes I will bring the kids' device into the session. That's kind of controversial, but it makes it fun. So when the kids are reading, I want them to know the tools that they have available to them. And when they don't know what a word means, they can just say it right on into their phone and it will give them a definition. So I'll say, oh, do you have your phone on available on you? And they'll be like, yeah, great. Ask for the definition of the word that we're working on. And they'll ask for it. I'm like, okay, now read it to me. And they'll read it off to me.
That's brilliant.
Thank you.
Yeah, nothing wrong with the devices. My students, I mean, you know, I advise them to not rely totally on the translator, but we use it as a backup if they just totally can't get my definition of a word or something, or if they just totally are confused.
Yeah.
And they will use the translation function. And at word level, you know, I think that's fine. At sentence level, it starts to break down because the translating software, for one thing, just isn't that great yet.
Mm-hmm.
And for another, it defeats the purpose of, you know, you're here to actually learn the language. So
yeah. I remember though, like back in the days when we had to look up this stuff, like in that like thing called a dictionary. You guys remember that thing?
What is
How
that?
old are you?
I think I had to like blow dust off of it inside of my house now because it's not getting any use. I don't even know if I have a dictionary anymore because, you know, our cell phones have become so useful for that kind of stuff. And I can just speak it to, you know, my friend over here and she'll tell me the definition of any word. My kids think it's fun when I add that on into the piece as well.
That's Albert, and he's not a she, but okay.
We used to have a Braille dictionary in school, and that thing was huge. Like it took up at least a shelf, I think.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, well, you know, because Braille books are thick.
Yeah. Crazy. Crazy. Well, I am so glad that you guys were able to join me today. We're going to give you guys a boom cha for joining us. And those of you, your boom cha right now is to hit that like button. So if you like this conversation and you want to give me a boom cha, hit that like button and hit subscribe, hit that little bell so that you can join us for other calls just like this, where we're going to be discussing the online tutoring world. So I'm going to give my two lovely people here a wonderful boom cha. You guys want to join me on this boom cha? All right, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. We push our fingers out and we're gonna go, woo. You ready? Let's do this right. I counted. I realized like I never explained
it and then not finish it. Come on.
I forgot.
3. Boom.
That should be a thumbnail for this.
Oh, thank you. One person did give us a like. You guys are awesome. I appreciate it. Yay. Those of you other people who are joining us, I know there are 8 of you watching this. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. All right. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for joining me. If you're in the Insider Secrets Club group, we are meeting tomorrow inside of Facebook, where I'll be doing a special Facebook Live just for you guys, and I'll be answering your questions. So come on in and join us if you are part of that group. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your day. Oh, I almost forgot something really important for everybody that can join. If you are not in the Ultimate Support group yet, join us. Next week, we're going to be doing a 5-day Kickstart Your Online Tutoring Business Challenge. So go find us on Facebook. There's a link inside of the description where you can join us and be able to join us for that live event that's going to be happening each day. I'm going to be live inside of Facebook Live in that group at 2:00 p.m. every single day as we go through different activities and things you can do to really get your business off and going. And our friend here, Miss Terry Grigsby, she joined us last year, and by the end of the week, she had students. So,
do the Kickstart. It's so wonderful. It got my whole business going. Seriously, it got my groundwork laid for getting my business up.
Oh, that's so awesome. That's so awesome. All right. So definitely join us, you guys. It was wonderful being able to hang out with you, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye, everyone.
Bye.